Hey, this episode is not going to suck like the last one. No, here's what you can look forward to with the Nice Guys on Business.
One of your episodes, you talk about the power of just sending a DM. I got on LinkedIn and I just started promoting the blog to everybody I could find in my network and blasting it out. And then sure enough, like I said, it landed me on NBC. And I can tell you within a few hours of that position airing, the insurance company called me, dramatically reduced the drug price somehow, and it was on my doorstep in 2 days.
Kyln, do you have an iPhone or something inferior?
Something inferior. I love this show. But I have this Droid. I got it because it was pink. I've been wanting to upgrade it, but I really like it's pink.
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it. I know how good it is. I buy the gourmet expensive stuff because when I drink it, I want to taste it. But you know what's on my mind right now? It ain't the coffee in my kitchen. It's the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. It's Friday. Congratulations. You made it through the week along with us. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler.
I feel as though you ever get to the end of the week and you're just completely spent, wiped out, exhausted.
That's usually how I feel at the end of our recording our podcast.
That's true. The podcast marathon recording episodes all done at one time, and we are. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so glad to be here. Not that being here. What this means is tomorrow, Saturday, we actually have to record all of next week's episodes.
I know, right? And it's my wife's birthday tomorrow.
What? Tomorrow being
1st, yeah.
Wow! Congratulations, Kim, for putting up with Strickland's pain in the ass self all that time.
All right.
So wait, so you guys do you do it for your anniversary or do you do it for birthdays where you open that bottle of wine?
Anniversary. That's our anniversary.
And how many bottles of wine did you get on wedding day?
I bought 36, and I had to buy them like a year or two after because, of course, with red wine that's going to last a long time, they don't put it out right away. You know, you got to let it sit for a year or two. So like a year or two after I got married, I bought 3 cases of wine from the year of our marriage, and we open up a new one every year. So
you guys were married in what year?
1999.
So 1999, you were married, and that's even for red wine, isn't that a long time?
Yeah, it's supposed to get better the longer it sits. Now, with red wine, there are certain kinds of red wine that supposedly get better for the 5 or 8 or 10 years and then start to go bad. And I think we had 3 different kinds. We had a Merlot, we had a Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know fucking wine.
Yeah.
So the kind that we were told does not make it 15 or 20 years, we drank that first.
Okay, so you bought all of this wine. Now, so the big question that I would have is, after 36 years, what do you do?
Yeah, we're screwed after that. We got to get a divorce. I have no idea. We're a long way away from that. I'm not too worried about it, but maybe we'll be too old to want to drink wine by then. I don't know.
It's interesting. Well done, Strickland. What a great idea. I've never heard of anybody that actually has done that.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So we got an interview today, though. With,
was today interview day? Oh, yeah, cool. So Kyln was a guest on the show. She did a really fabulous job. She is a woman that has cystic fibrosis, and it is I'm
up on her website, and she's got a lot of logos of different shows and types of things that she's appeared on. I wonder if she's going to add us to that list. I doubt it.
Okay, so CF is inherited as an autosomal. Hold on a second.
Do your research ahead of time.
Wait a second. Serious. A genetic disorder. I thought I said that, a genetic abnormality. Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a genetic disorder, and it really does. It affects your lungs and how you breathe, and it affects tremendously your lifespan too. So somebody that's getting to like 30 years old, very, very, that's almost like a long amount of time for them to live with cystic fibrosis because of all these other conditions and the complications and infections that result as a part of it. Anyway, so Kyln comes on the show and she talks about what it means to live your life to the fullest every day. Literally living every day like it's your last. She shares her story, which is very emotional, and she talks about the idea of when she leaves her house, she's got a bag that she packs that if she ever has to go to the hospital, that she packs the bag with the idea that she may never be coming back to her house. And that's tough. That's got to be one of those. That's just not easy. Can you imagine feeling like every day could be your last day? And what would you do that day in order to make sure that you're living your life to the fullest?
No, it's tough, but seriously, we really all should think somewhat along those lines. I mean, you could step off the curb and get hit by a bus tomorrow. You never know. But until something along these lines happens, like when you have a disease that is going to shorten your lifespan, that you don't think of it that way and you don't enjoy. And we should probably all take a bit more of a perspective like that. She wrote a book called I Am Blank, The Untold Story of Success. And she interviewed actually a lot of big name players, the co-founder of Netflix and Boomer Esiason and a bunch of big people, and talked to them. And it's what it means to create a highly impactful legacy through entrepreneurship and athleticism. I mean, it's a cool book.
Yeah, great interview and great time with Kyln. Terrific story, and I think that you guys will really get a lot out of it, and you'll really enjoy it. Let's just get to the interview. Can we get to it, or you got anything? Do we do Patreon or any of that stuff?
The promise statement.
Okay, the promise statement is to create a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. If you feel like we could do that a little bit better, or if you just want to tell us that we're doing that for you, just well, except for the idea that I am not a medical doctor and I don't know how things work. Yeah, I really should. I don't really do. I do enough research for each show to be dangerous in the subject, but I don't retain the information though so long. That's part of the problem. Anyway,
We're not podcasters, but we play them on TV.
If you would like to yell at me for any reason, feel free. I am a moving target at any point at DJ Doug or at, just tweet out to Strick. I'm sure he'll respond to you. At Nice Guy on Biz is Strickland's Twitter handle. And we are proud to be affiliated with the C-Suite Radio Network. Also, just so you know, we've offered a brand new level at Patreon, which is patreon.com/nice guys. We now have a $1 level. For those of you that can't quite scrape together enough to have $2, we have not heard anything that people aren't signing up because we are charging too much. But we're thinking that I think we need to do a little bit better. Guys, come on, put it all together here. A couple of bucks would be good.
Yeah. If you enjoy the show, we would appreciate the help. Any kind of donation that you can make, we totally appreciate it.
And send cans of tuna fish to Strickland because he likes his ahi tuna well done. Strick, could you give me your address so they could send you cans of tuna fish? No, don't do that.
I'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes.
Strick, all the times that we say we'll put it in the show notes, do you actually listen to the episode to make sure that all of the things that we say we'll put that in the show notes, did we actually do that?
Never. Yes, sometimes I do, but yes, sometimes I miss it, yeah.
I've noticed a couple of times I probably should tell you, hey, Strick, listen, about 18 minutes in, I've made reference to... You figure with 350 episodes almost into this, we would have this down. What the hell is going on? Why don't we know how to do this properly yet?
I don't know. Because it's just, who actually reads the damn
I don't know.
show notes anyway? That's the real question, right?
I was on the phone with somebody the other day talking about C-Suite, and he was so systemized and involved in so much of the detail. They got like a mid-roll and they have what's the beginning one? A pre-roll? Is that pre-roll?
Yeah, pre-roll. Yeah.
So they had a pre-roll, then he had an affiliate. I mean, this guy had it down, and he's making like a boat on his show. And I'm thinking, maybe this is what Strick and I need to do. And then I thought, if this is what it means to make money on the show, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much. It's too much. I don't want to have that much structure. Do we need to have Strick? Don't make me have any structure, please.
Okay.
Can we go back to?
We've worked 340 some episodes in. I haven't done it yet. Why would I change now?
That is very true. And if we could just go back to maybe what was the episode? Was it Tuesday or Thursday? We talk about manscaping.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
That was yesterday's episode. Go back to yesterday's episode, everybody. Listen again. I know you love our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday show because we offer you some valuable content. But if you totally want to hear a fuckery, just go ahead and listen to Thursday's show.
Total shit show. Total shit show. Yeah. Pretty much.
All right, let's get to the interview with Kyln Elsbury. She is definitely a good sport for putting up with all of our shit here. So Kyln and I do chat about all of the fun stuff that's going on in her world that she needs to get through every day. And you will feel lucky and fortunate to have the health in your life that you have. Just listen to Kyln as she shares her story right here on the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Our guest today, Kyln Elsbury, is not just a master networker, but she is an author of a highly acclaimed book called I Am Blank. Okay, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to need you, to fill in the blank a little bit for me when we get you on the show officially, Kyln. So it's called I Am Blank, The Untold Story of Success. Kyln shares her voice and her message as she represents tens of thousands of others that also have cystic fibrosis as she does. As passionate about her push to help find a cure for CF and spread the message of triumph and success and failure, Kyln is here to talk about the real meaning of life and discovering what your purpose is. So, Kyln, that's a tough bill to fill, but let's see if you can do it. I know you can because I've heard you speak, and I'm passionate about what you're passionate about too. So welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Kyln.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, it is such a great honor to have you here, and I understand that you've even said that you're going to do the show in spite of listening to a few episodes. You've already done that.
Well, that is definitely correct.
So anything that was there any fear that you had before you even said, "Hey, I'm going to agree to do this"? I mean, I know because a lot of our interviews come through podcast placement firms where they give them a little background to the show, and you had to do all the research of your own. In spite of the research, you still decided to move forward.
Well, yeah, it's actually a really funny story. I was kind of thinking about my own network, and just in case it didn't go well or you didn't like the inspirational value I provide that a lot of my audience really, really loves, I kind of thought to myself, well, the good news is if we're going to tank a career, it's good to do it in the first 5 years than in the later 15. So let's do that.
You can't tank it. You can't tank it here. We just have a few listeners, so it's you can only propagate your message it's so far with our community.
I love it so much already.
So Kyln, help me with this because as I'm doing some research on you and finding out a little bit about your background, you are definitely a life's a journey, not a destination type of person. So share a little bit of your story with CF, cystic fibrosis. Share a little bit of your story and tell me what that life's a journey, not a destination really means to you.
Yeah, so we have a catchphrase that's live as if your life depended on it. And first of all, we'll back up. Cystic fibrosis, it's genetic, right? So I was born with it, and I'm just about to turn 30 years old. And so in our world, that's kind of like a senior citizen.
Yeah, you're a senior.
Yeah, it's exciting. I've never had a double lung transplant, but I am hospitalized or put on IV antibiotics really frequently because essentially the mucus in my lungs, it's very thick and it's sticky and it attracts a lot of infections. So you're either typically around 20 years old, you are either at the point where your lungs are so full of this mucus that you have to start considering a transplant, or you're in another mutation or some other reason. You've either already passed. But I mean, to be 30 with this disease, it's quite the accomplishment within itself. So my downtime came in 2014 when I was actually in a wheelchair and on oxygen and only a few lung function percentage points from being considered needing a transplant. And I took up fitness very hardcore. I actually became a Zoomba instructor, and trust me, when you go to the gym and you're coughing as much as me, it's never a very beautiful thing.
That's crazy, a Zoomba instructor. I mean, just the wind that you need to even be able to do that. I can't even do Zumba. I mean, not even I can't, but I mean, normal lung capacity kind of guy. I mean, I'm fucking out of shape as they can be, but I mean, normal lung capacity guy, I can't even do it.
Well, I didn't say I did it well, but I did it. There were definitely people who didn't show up to my next class because it was a little disgusting watching someone hack their way through an hour of it, but I did it. And so, yeah, I gave up my career because I didn't think I'd live much longer. I went on a 6-week road trip to see friends and family I wasn't sure I'd live to see again. And a drug came out that was thought to halt the progression of the disease, and it was $259,000 a year. and my insurance wouldn't cover it.
All
And
right,
I was in
hold up a
paperwork.
second. Okay, but
Yeah.
and let's talk about the bullshit of $259,000 a year from the drug companies. So, and I know that a lot of the dollars go into CF. That's one of the causes that I've been so passionate about myself. But only as a person that has a friend that has a daughter that has CF. So again, I'm taking a secondary view of this, and you're taking it from the role of someone that is afflicted with this horrible genetic condition. $259,000 a year. Now, who the fuck can afford that?
I can't.
Right. So do you say, I'll take the medication, just take my house away? I mean, you're trading a life for medicine. I mean, how do you even, how does a drug company, and this is not going to be a political stance here, but how do you even get to the point where you say, well, this makes a lot of sense. I can see myself doing this.
Right. And my big thing, and that's how I got on NBC with Lester Holt, my big thing with this was not necessarily that I don't believe entrepreneurs and business executives should be successful and reap financial rewards of their success, because yeah, of course I believe that. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I want all the money. However, that being said, I don't believe that they should set out to destroy the financial lives of the very people they're trying to save the lives of.
That's really interesting. That's a very conflicting, not a message, but a very conflicting message that they're sending out, but not that you're sending out to the drug companies. Well, how do you fix something like that?
What I did is I got on. It's funny. One of your episodes, you talk about the power of just sending a DM. I got on LinkedIn, and well, first of all, I wrote a blog that was very emotionally gut-wrenching. And then I got on LinkedIn and Google, and I just started promoting the blog to everybody I could find in my network and blasting it out. And then sure enough, like I said, it landed me on NBC. And I can tell you, within a few hours of that position airing, the insurance company called me, dramatically reduced the drug price somehow, and it was on my doorstep in 2 days.
Excuse me, Kyln, that'll be a $10 copay.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, we're so sorry. So how do you solve this? Get the media involved. I mean, I do appreciate a lot of the different tactics people use to bring awareness to something, but hit it where it hurts. Blast people. This is social media world. Use it. Get that emotional connection. And just target people who you think can help you spread your message to not just a couple people, but hundreds of thousands of people.
I only thought that it worked when you complained about a freaking high cable bill and you get online and you start complaining, but you complained about a $250 or whatever, $200 and some odd $1,000 1 year. I don't even know how you know what? We've determined the cost of this medication to be it's
so big
crazy.
We can't pronounce it.
Right. And so the friend that I have that has a daughter that has CF, she actually went through an entire process. I mean, very similar to you in that she has been in and out of the hospital. She's a few years younger than you. I think she's in her early mid 20s right now, and she used this machine that actually vibrates your lungs, and it's almost I think it's a vest that she wears. Did you ever go through the vest process?
Yeah, I was wearing it before the show.
Oh, excellent! Way to shake.
I didn't want to be coughing during our podcast.
No, I get it. So when was the last time you were in or out of the hospital?
The entire month of January.
Yeah, and you live in what part of the world?
San Diego.
So in San Diego, I'm assuming you're there for the climate, or are you from there originally?
No, I've lived, a lot of places in the U.S., so I've been out here for about 3 years. Yeah,
you like it there?
Yeah, the climate's perfect. I'm so incredibly lucky. I grew up in a small rural Iowa town. I didn't finish college, and I live a block from the beach in a gorgeous place. Running my company, writing my book, and outing drug companies in my spare time. So
that's right. She's outing. I love that. We have to. You have to send me a copy of your post. I'd love to help out some of the insurance companies through my blog as well.
Yeah, we'll tag team this.
So I want to approach this subject also because I without being insensitive, I want to talk just a little bit about limited time. So in many of the articles and the interviews that I've seen that you share, the idea of living every day like it's your last is really something that it's true to form for you. I mean, you really do live every day like it is your last day because you just never know. And again, for fear of being insensitive, I just want you to share a little bit about that journey for you and what that living every day like your last really does mean for someone that potentially could be at that spot.
Yeah. So essentially, for those who have not come to grips with their own mortality, because we're all going to die, right? We never know when. I could get hit by a car wreck or in a car accident. But I always like to explain it as if you're making your coffee in the morning, getting ready for a busy day at work. And what if your phone goes off and it's the doctor telling you need to get to the hospital immediately? They found something, pack a bag. They're not sure if you'll ever come home. Did you live that morning and that night before really as if your life was depending on it? Have you been running your business in a way that makes you a proud person if it all ended today? Have you been running your relationships that way? Have you been running your internal struggles and your internal dialogue that way? So that's what it's really like. And for me, I think it was Grant Cardone. I'm a huge fan of his, but I think he had said people dramatically underestimate what they can do in the short term and overestimate what they can do in the long term.
So I just want to cover that one more time. People underestimate what they can do in the short term and overestimate what they can do in the long term. I mean, that's such a powerful statement. Talk about it for a second, because I think it rings so true, and I've never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, when I set out to build my company and essentially write this book as well, one of the things that hit me is I'm 29. My life expectancy ended 15 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So here I am. So just in case, and I'm very optimistic, I do everything I need to do on my end to make sure I extend this life expectancy as long as I possibly can. But I focus so much on getting a ton done in the short term, on track for my long-term vision, but I don't necessarily dwell too much on my long term because I want to get as much done right now as I can possibly do. And when I do it, I have to go all in. And so I've designed the company, the book, my life around if I get that call and I don't come home.
Yeah, that's got to be a challenging call to even accept. I mean, what would that call sound like in the world? Just so we can put some reality, some stark reality in the world of our audience and our Funkin' fans who are hardcore fans and our nice guy community who are the ones that every once in a while touch this show, through our message that we reach. Talk about what that really means in practical nature. What does that phone call sound like?
So for cystic fibrosis, and I am not speaking for the entire patient population, I'm speaking specifically for me. But for me, the best example I can give is a very recent one. It was within the last 6 months. My boyfriend left for work that day and something didn't feel right in my lungs and I started coughing and it was just cupfuls of blood. And so it wasn't necessarily a call, but I literally grabbed my keys. I have a prepared hospital overnight bag that I keep. I grabbed my personal hospital overnight bag and put it all in the cart and just headed to the hospital. And deep down, I'm like, I don't know if I'm coming home. Mm-hmm. But, he had just left for work and it was the morning. So it wasn't a phone call, but it was a symptom that something is seriously wrong. And I spent about 6 weeks on IVs to eradicate the infection that had caused that. But I mean, there was a very, very strong sign that, is this what happens towards the end? And I don't necessarily, I have an idea of what the end is for end stage CF. I've seen a lot of friends go through it. But at the same time, for me, I don't know what that call would be like yet, but I definitely know how to maximize my mornings now.
Well, yeah, and so what goes through your head? And again, I'm trying to ask this question without being ultra insensitive, but it is, from a curiosity perspective, a guy that has not had to deal, fortunately, with any. I don't like to go to the doctor just to get my blood drawn. I had a freckle that looked suspicious, so my wife she insisted that I go to the doctor, and fortunately, it was nothing. But even just something like that, I mean, we're talking about a fucking freckle on my back. It's not like I'm dealing with, incapable lungs or anything or cupfuls of blood. And I just can't even imagine what goes through your mind when you think, what's going to happen to me?
What really goes through my mind is and it goes through my mind all day, every day, but not in a limiting capacity, but in a, am I really doing what I want to be doing right now? And the answer is, yeah, we have things throughout the day that we don't want to be doing. Example, the first 10 minutes of a workout, I don't want to be there. But
Right.
I really, really have a belief, especially in my company, that if we don't enjoy a good 70-80% of what we do throughout the day, don't do it. Don't work here. It's not for you. Nobody's feelings are hurt. Your life's just way too short to be doing anything that you aren't absolutely excited about. So just don't commit to things. So we kind of run our lives like that. And so when I do get the symptoms or the call, we'll call it, I don't have really that internal panic or that internal struggle that I think a lot of people would go through because I've been preparing and really living as if my life depends on it. So those moments aren't dramatic. I did a speech a couple of months ago, actually, where I said my final farewells to my family, my friends, my business associates, and my boyfriend, as if that call really did happen, or I wouldn't leave the hospital through the entrance, but through the morgue. And so I make sure that like all the parts of my life that need to be wrapped up, they're wrapped up and they're ready to go. And then I also make a constant, I talk about habits in my book. One of the habits that I do consistently is tell people how much I love them and how much I value them. Because there's so many times where that final message never happens and people spend the rest of their lives wishing their loved ones and them had a better last few moments.
Yeah, that's so true. I was as you were saying that, I was thinking about a book that I read. I think the author's name was Randy, I think it's Pausch,
Yeah.
called The Last Lecture, and it is such a powerful book about the things that you would say at that last presentation, that last speech, that last something that you're going to give. It might be a book that would give you again a great inspiration for some message, although you have you're the inspiration that's out there, so people are getting inspiration from you, but you have to get your inspiration from somewhere as well.
Yeah.
For most people, businesses and daily activities, it's not about life and death. How do you convince someone that maybe is wasting their time, or maybe not in the right spot, or maybe is not loving their job, or not in the right, relationship? How do you show them, hey, get some perspective, take action, and go for your dreams? How do you impart enough power in your message when it's not life and death for them to actually take hold of what they want and go for it?
So there's this joke about how many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is none. The light bulb has to want to change. It's just perfect, right? So I can't make somebody want to change, but I mean, deep down, everybody knows if their life is going the way they want it to or the way they originally set out to go. And so for me, one of the things I've found, especially after I give a speech or a book signing event, people will come up to me and they'll start to share their stories and they'll ask similar questions. And I'm just such a big fan of make the decision you want and then just do for it and commit to the types of actions that'll lead you that way, knowing that if it's a dramatic change, like breaking up with a loved one because the relationship isn't what you thought it would be and you don't feel you can save it, or quitting your dream career, or quitting your career where you may be making lots of money to pursue your dream career, make sure your basic needs are met, and then just do it and take all the steps, all the actions you need to do in order to hit to where you want to be. Because the reality is, if you don't change anything now, you will be in the same place 5 years from now. And that's more painful than dying suddenly.
Yeah, that is there is a lot of agony in continuing on in something that you don't like. What do you think it is that holds people back?
Fear.
Yeah. I agree. That would have been the answer I would have given too. It's totally
I didn't mean that condescendingly, but if it's anything else, I'd love to know.
Yeah. So how do you overcome it? You just do it, and do you find things get easier when you just when you walk the line and you just do what you need to do? Does it get any easier? You said the hardest part of working out is that first 10 minutes, but it sounds like after that 10 minutes is over, you know what the experience is all about, and it's going to become a little bit better for you, and you're doing, in the long run, doing something good for yourself. So is it just as simple as just putting yourself into action?
I don't see why it could not be that simple. And for a quick example, when I was really, really sick and my lung function was around 40%, so it's not incredibly bad, but it's bad enough that it's really difficult to do day-to-day activities. But that was when I first found Zoomba, and I was in the back of the class and I was coughing and nobody wanted to dance next to me. Mind you, I was a high school dance and cheerleader, so I know my stuff, but nobody wanted to be my friend in that class because they all thought I had the plague. And then the teacher noticed that despite the plague, I still was on cue and all of my moves were correct. And so she put me towards the front of the room and I helped her co-teach the class because the patterns in Zoomba, they're relatively the same throughout the course. And I left the gym that day absolutely exhausted. I think I slept for 18 hours straight. And I woke up the next day and I told my parents, I'm going to be a Zumba instructor. And so I wasn't focusing on the fear of CF anymore. I was focusing on the reality that I was a dance instructor. And I just set out to do it. And on the day that I had to get my license, it's an 8-hour intense day. There's a ton of dancing involved. I was literally on an IV drip. So I took all of my IV antibiotics. I brought a cooler full of my drip bags and my needles and my syringes. And in between sets, I would watch them do the moves, and they would do it.
You sound like a pure joy showing up to Zumba. I'm like, hey, who's the chick with the syringes? It's okay. We either have a heroin addict or a CF sufferer.
You'll see her on TV one day, people. Calm down. No.
Oh, my gosh.
And so, yeah, I mean, I was no longer afraid of dying. I was focused on being a dance instructor of Zoomba. And so the fear goes away because I wasn't focusing on the negative.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, I'm going to ask you to put down your message and your book and your genetic abnormality for a second, if you would.
Yes, please.
Just put that down just for a moment. I want to talk to you as an entrepreneur, somebody that has built a business and is continuing to build a business and spreading a message throughout the world. I'm going to ask you about a tool, a tip, and a trick that is working for you. So let's start with a tool. Is there a piece of technology or an app that you use on a regular basis that you feel like you couldn't do without?
Lately, Buffer. It auto-schedules social media posts, and it does it at the peak times. So I'm really trying to grow out my Twitter to match the branding, and so I'm on Buffer quite a bit.
Yeah, I've heard. I've never used Buffer. I've never even. Is it a website or is it an app or how does it work? What's the interface?
I think it's both, but I have a giant desktop, so I use it on the web. But I mean, it's really super easy. You just connect all your social media profiles, you upload your content, and it'll post for you at peak times based on your current followers and your demographic, and it's just a complete time saver because I was logging into Twitter 4 to 6 times a day, LinkedIn 3 to 4 times, researching articles, posting relevant content, and then I discovered Buffer, and you just find it all at once and it auto takes care of it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I have to check it out. I have not had a chance yet to be on it. I've heard it. I've seen it many times because I think it even will label things, provided by Buffer. It's in some cases. So that very cool. I'll check that out. Okay, let's move over to a tip. Share maybe an action item, something that you might think is a pretty easy thing, a regular thing that you might do in your business day that people can maybe put into action today in order to help better themselves.
Engage. And for that, I mean, find the most successful person you know, or the type of person you want to be like, or the entrepreneur you really look up to. Get on social media, contact them. Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably very wise to do that. And then I want to move over to a trick. Is there any life hack or mind hack that you go into? Like mine is that I'm not allowed to have that first cup of coffee until I've done my 10 minutes of yoga or meditation in the morning. And that's kind of like my reward for doing the yoga and meditation is my cup of coffee. Is there anything that you use as a mind hack in your day?
Yeah, every morning. Now, mind you, I can't do anything before coffee, so that would be a fantastic hack to figure out.
Okay.
So every morning with my coffee, I have a journal and I write out my 10 blanks for I am blank that day. So who do I need to be to get what I need to do done?
Okay, hold on. So there is now you've just completely looped the circle back again, back to the intro here, where the name of the book is called I Am Blank. So interesting. Okay, so tell me what the journal is. It's a blank, and you fill in the blank I am, or do you fill in the I have to do, or tell me what the blanks mean.
So, for example, today I had to do this lovely podcast. In order to do this podcast at 8 a.m.
Never been described as lovely, by the way. We've never been described as lovely.
This nice guy's podcast.
Right.
In order to do this at 8 a.m., I had to really wake up early to be in the right frame of mind. So what was my I am? I am confident no matter what happens in this podcast. And I wasn't 100% sure what to expect going in, of course. So to be ready and able and excited to do this, I had to be confident. So I am confident today.
Okay. And then so you fill out, as a part of your day, you actually do 10 of those. You do a I am blank, or do you just do one of them and then fill me in with the practical nature of how it works?
As many as I need to do. So I have a meeting later today where I need to present to about 20 people. So for that, I am prepared. So throughout the day, rather than saying, for example, let's go back a little bit. Instead of saying I have cystic fibrosis, I'm going to get sick very soon, I say I am a Zoomba instructor. So today it's I am confident, I am prepared, and you just repeat your mantra to yourself through the day to get you through who you need to be in that moment to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So Today there's like 7 of them, I believe it is, not 10 if we're getting really specific. But on super packed days, oh yeah, I'm as many of those things I need to be to run my business, my book, and my life the way I want to.
Do you see yourself referring back to those blanks in the course of your day? Is it sitting on your desktop?
Yep.
Wow, that's great. So, Kyln, if somebody in our Nice Guy community wanted to get a hold of you to learn more about how to get your message into their hands or get your book or anything that you provide, how can they do that?
That'd be fantastic. And I would say, the book, it is on Amazon. You'll have to use my first name to pull it up, Kyln. But other than that, if you want to direct message me, absolutely do it on LinkedIn. That's where I have the most power in my network, and I'm more likely to see your responses.
That is terrific, and we'll make sure we put all that information in the show notes. In addition to a wonderful photo of Kyln that she has sent over to us, almost fully clothed. So just so
almost.
You have almost. Kyln, do you have your phone anywhere near you?
I do.
Excellent, Kyln. Do you have an iPhone or something inferior?
Something inferior.
What do you have, Kyln? What do you have?
No, seriously, it's one step above a Nokia. But I have this Droid from, 2 years ago. I got it because it was pink. I should probably...
She's got the pink phone, pink power.
I've been wanting to upgrade it, but I really like it's pink.
Okay, so Kyln, go to your... Can you send and receive text messages on that thing?
Yeah, it just got that capability.
That's good. All right, Kyln, go to your texting app. What is the last text message you sent or received?
Oh, geez. I love this show.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. I gotta get my bell. She loves the show. You got Funkin' fans, you know it. She loves the show. Okay, Kyln, what's the last message you sent or received?
Then I get an engagement ring.
Uh-oh, is that to your boyfriend?
Yes, I parked way too close to his parking spot. So I said I need a smart car, and he said then I get a golf cart, and I said then I get an engagement ring. Nice,
way to go! You hold out for that engagement ring. I agree with you. This guy, if he knows what's good for you, he would buy it. He would buy it.
I love it.
What is the last photo that you took?
Ooh, this is fun. Let's see what we have here. Last night I went for a 5-mile walk with a girlfriend on the bay, and so it's the sunset.
Oh, beautiful. In San Diego, no less. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I can send you a picture to make you jealous.
Yes, that's totally cool. We would love to put that in there. Technology is not really my strong suit. I don't know how to put photos in my show notes. I only know how to put a cover photo. So we can either use that instead of your picture. No, we're going to put your photo.
Yeah, we need photos.
we need your photos. Kyln, thank you so very much. Kyln's book is available on Amazon. It's called I Am Blank, The Untold Story of Success. And she is available to come out and speak to your organization, whether it's perseverance or a message just about how to overcome obstacles or her life story. She'll be happy to share any of those messages. Plus, I'm sure that she can creatively come up with a message that you desire desire that you have come out to your business. So, Kyln, thank you for being on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a blast. Thank you.
My pleasure. Nice Guy community. Never underestimate the power of nice. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
Click on the Patreon link in the show notes. And for as little as $2 a month, you can help support the podcast and get access to fun bonus content. That's like half a cup of Starbucks coffee once a month, a grande, double shot, maybe a little flavoring. Thanks for listening. I mean, seriously, you need to cut back on your caffeine anyway. Excuse me, can I borrow your towel? My car just hit a water buffalo.